This is an intro song. This is an intro song. This is an intro song for my blog. Hello, Internet! The time has arrived. We're going to finally put a close to this D&D miniseries. The first episode, we went over basic concept. The second episode, we delved into races and classes. And the most recent, the third, we went over stats. If you've been following along with my DM's blog, which has been linked in the thingamabob down there, you should be ready to play the game. Before I go into gameplay, however, I think I should go ahead and recap the relationship that the DM has with the PCs and the NPCs. The DM is the creator of the universe. Not only is he the man with the plan, but he is the one who creates the terrain, who builds all the houses, and who controls all of the non-player characters as well as the enemies. He controls, in essence, every single aspect that you don't control. The DM also acts as a medium through which you can gather information, gain experience points, and of course, go on quests and adventure. You, the PC, are typically an adventurer who is given a quest and has been placed with other adventurers. Sometimes the DM specifies how long you and the other player characters have known each other, but sometimes he won't. So it's going to be up to you and the others who are playing in the campaign to figure out exactly what kind of a dynamic you all will have. Of course, the longer you've known each other, the more developed the dynamic can be. With the campaigns that I've been involved with, we tend to fall into certain character roles. Like there's always the brick wall, there's the charmer, the scholar, the social outcast, and of course the peacekeeper. Now, these aren't actually set characters, you don't have to fall into those either. We just found that within our little personal life dynamic, it works the best. Now, gameplay. You've chosen your race, your class, your at-will powers, your encounter powers, your daily powers, and you've set up your statistics, and you've bought your first set of dice, which you will have already pre-rolled yourself, you know, for good luck. And now you're ready to start your first campaign. Be sure to print out your character sheet or have some way that you're able to access it throughout the game. You're going to need it because there's no way you're going to be able to remember all of the aspects involved in any given power. Typically, your DM will have already set up the tabletop with some sort of a grid that you and the other player characters will be moving around on. Now, usually, you'll be using something that looks either like a coin, that is a marker for your character, or you'll be using figurines. Now, it's up to you and your campaigners to figure out which you're going to use. Our campaign uses figurines.
What's that from? It sounds familiar.
Charlie Duck Factory.
Oh.
I was like, well, Willy Wonka.
I thought you were asking about the battle music. I was like, really?
Next, he'll present you with a usually pre-written setup for why you and the other player characters are where you are and what you're going to be doing there. If it's a one-shot, this is where you get all the information you need to know about the one-shot game that you're about to play. If it's the beginning of the campaign, you'll have a similar setup, and it's usually a lot more talking and a lot less action. This is where you gather pretty much all of the information you're going to need to continue on through the campaign. Or at the very least, it'll give you the leads that you'll need to go down whatever quest you guys decide to do. If your campaign is the kind that continues on for multiple sessions, like the one that I'm currently in, each session will start out with a little recap of what happened last time, or at the very least, it'll give us the next step joining part to tell us why we're continuing what we're doing. Unfortunately, I'm stupid, and I left my camera off whenever Ignacio was giving us our recap at the beginning of the session, but I did think to turn it on before our first big fight of the night, where he set up. In this situation, we're in an arena, and we are about to fight the Jotun's warriors to prove ourselves to the Jotuns that we deserve to have access to this magic rock thing that only they have access to. You see, that's the magic behind being a DM. The Jotuns aren't really a D&D character. However, because my DM happens to be into Norse mythology, he was able to put that influence into his gameplay. Last week, we fought weeping angels, for goodness sake. It's awesome. Anyway, here's that clip.
Here's an interesting thing. There aren't really doors because it's ice, but you can only hear a snarling, and you hear the Jotun cheering. You get the sense that there is something near you, but whatever it is hiding in the mist.
+5, everybody. But me. Everybody but me. So I still have a 19.
Use this. What did you roll?
A 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not a good initiative.
What do you know?
That's what I rolled right there.
What? Sometimes they're not very helpful if you happen to roll a flippin' 2. After the DM takes down everyone's initiative scores,
Cut it to the 19.
What's
Thorvald?
God,
39.
That's the worst.
39. Kentrell,
39.
39.
What's your modifier?
16.
Alright,
Um,
go first.
I'm sorry.
Well, your natural modifier 16?
Yeah.
Okay, then you go first.
35.
35. Oh my, you seriously 19 is what we're looking at here?
That's what I rolled. Can I roll again?
No.
Well then, yeah, that's
So
what's
now
gonna
you're, like,
happen. As well as the enemy's initiative scores, the gameplay will begin. Each round you'll have a move action, a standard action, and a free and or minor action. You can only have one standard action per round unless you decide to use your action point, which allows you 2 standard actions in a round. But once it's spent, it's spent. I suggest saving that until you reach the big boss to give yourself the best chance to hit him where it hurts. Or her. Whatever. I'm not sexist. Each power will attack a particular stat within the enemy. This would be fortitude, reflex, will, whatever. And this is noted on the power itself. After you announce what you're going to do to the DM and hopefully the rest of the table is able to hear you, you roll the d20 to see if you hit. Now, if you hit, you then roll for damage based on whatever it tells you to do on the power. If it doesn't hit, then oh well, you move on, and it's the next player's turn. Of course, there's variations to this method, but that's essentially how gameplay is going to work. Here's a clip of Jordan's turn, woo!
Old metal chest.
So I want to go here.
Okay, and that technically gives you combat advantage on that guy.
Darn
C-A.
right. And I want to use Radiant Smite.
Okay.
Smite.
That's a good starter for me.
Smite that thing radiantly.
I will try.
I'm playing football
Very
games
hard.
on accident.
19 plus 22 is the big number.
Yeah, that is.
Smoting the Jotuns.
I smoke.
Aw. For the record,
I don't even want to go now that you said that.
So you roll 2d6, and you can't roll ones because your weapon is brutal 1.
I rolled 2d6?
Or however many d6 it says.
4.
Oh my god, you roll all those d6s.
You need some d6s.
6.
d6s?
can't roll ones.
No, she can't. She's
Oh.
got brutal on her weapon.
5, so 6, 5, 4, 15. One more.
I'll take it.
19 plus what?
19 plus 15.
Plus, did you add the extra 5?
19 plus 20.
So that's
39.
39. You guys, come on. You guys. Come
I
on.
think it's
Chorus of
100.
39. This is the one math we can all do together. Now, this doesn't just apply to the PCs. This also applies to the enemies. Even though the DM is the one controlling it, he still has to follow rules. The only thing that's really different about the enemy's turn is that they don't announce what they're about to do. The rolls are usually done behind a screen or in some sort of private setting, and it's up to the DM's discretion how hard it can hit you. So, here's a clip of me getting beaten up, and it sucks.
Against Cottis, that is 37 versus your fortitude.
Duh?
I don't know what that. No.
Okay. Amistad, that is 26.
Oh, wow, no.
Okay, and
Why am I the only one that's getting the
Because you're white.
this was the
butthole
17.
dice? Well, you're rude. Dice. Rude dice.
No, it was actually me. I'm the one that is dice. That's 25 damage, and you are pushed back 1, 2, 3 squares that way.
Now, I know what you're thinking. How long does a game usually last? For some reason, our sessions tend to last from about 11 in the morning until 4:45 or 5 p.m. Sometimes we end earlier, sometimes we end later. Of course, this is taking into account we do usually take about half an hour just to eat and chat and giggle and be silly, but it is a decent amount of time. But to be perfectly honest, we usually end up having so much fun that none of us notice what time it is until we get out and we're like, oh my god, it's like almost dark. Well, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed my little D&D mini-series, and I hope you at least learned something. And if you didn't, oh well, I'm sorry. Don't forget to check out Ignacio's blog and check out the cool stuff that he's written. Like I said, the link's down in the thingamabob. And it's not all just D&D, there's other stuff too. So just give it a scroll and look around. They can't see you.
No, I'm doing it for you. I'm helping you.
Thank you. Until next week. Hey, chillin'.
You guys, where did the TARDIS go? It was just here a few seconds ago.
Okay, these are...
You're scaring me. Please sit down.
I ain't calling no cops.
Rage of a cyborg.
Oh, yeah.
Are you raging?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A thing that
pretty
happens
much.
in
Raging lots of
Rage
stuff.
of the
What?
Cyborg.
She's quite
Yes.
cross.
Okay.
Read all the
Come on.
D12s.
You can do it,
You might
Blastoise.
need other
Do you
people's
need more
details,
12s?
too.
I can donate 12s.
Do you want
I have
some?
7 now.
Yeah.
It went to 7 at 11. Okay. Thank you.
She needs one more.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you want Jordan's people in there.
You want lots of color?
Yeah, it's covered in hot sauce. Bam!
I
11.
like your history.
The one that like tried to escape.
22, 30, 37.
The footage of Chelsea. I don't think I'd lose any.
Well, you're gonna gain a bunch of pedophiles.
Hold on, see. Now you can come over here.
Because she looks like a child.